A fortress collapsed, a legacy unraveled, and identity disappeared. For the Dallas Cowboys, the 2024 season wasn't just a disappointment, it was a full-blown reckoning. After 3 straight 12-win campaigns, the foundation crumbled beneath America's team. One devastating injury to the franchise quarterback led to a 7-10 season. The once feared AT&T Stadium lost its edge, the defense, once dominant, became a liability, and just like that, a year filled with championship hopes turned into one filled with bitter questions. Let's get into it.
This wasn't just a bad year, it was an embarrassment. Going 2-7 on your own home turf, a place where you'd previously won 16 straight games, is the kind of collapse that demands a reckoning. They were swept by the eventual Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles for the first time since 2011, knocked out of playoff contention with weeks to spare, and forced to watch the postseason from home for the first time since 2020. So, what happens now? When a team with this much talent hits rock bottom, there are only two paths forward: continued irrelevance or a full-scale revenge tour. For the 2025 Dallas Cowboys, the mission isn't just to bounce back, it's about restoring their name and reclaiming their pride. To understand the path forward, we have to look at the wreckage of 2024. The 7-10 record tells part of the story, but the underlying numbers paint an even bleaker picture. The most glaring failure was the complete disappearance of their home field advantage. For years, opponents dreaded coming to Arlington. In 2024, they celebrated there. The Cowboys went from being undefeated at home in the previous regular season to winning just 2 games at AT&T Stadium. That kind of collapse goes beyond scheme or personnel. It points to a fundamental breakdown in confidence after the team lost its leader. Then there's the defense. The unit regressed into one of the league's worst. The Cowboys' defense gave up a staggering 468 points, which is an average of 27.5 points per game, ranking them 31st in the NFL. The run defense was consistently gashed, and the pass rush couldn't generate enough pressure to cover up the problems. After previously being a top-tier, takeaway-heavy unit, the 2024 defense was a shadow of its former self. Offensively, the story of the season can be split into 2 parts, before and after Week 9. The pivotal moment came against the Atlanta Falcons, when Dak Prescott suffered a season-ending hamstring injury. The partial avulsion of his hamstring tendon required surgery and completely derailed the Cowboys' season. The offense, which had been potent, fell to 21st in scoring, averaging just over 20 points per game by year's end. The whole unit lacked consistency, hurt by a weak run game, and an inability to sustain drives without its starting quarterback. All of this led to them getting thoroughly outplayed by their rivals, including a sweep by the eventual Super Bowl champion Eagles that cemented a third-place finish in the NFC East. A 7-10 finish after 3 years of high expectations forced the Cowboys into a period of serious self-reflection. The first big change was at the top, with the team and head coach Mike McCarthy parting ways after his contract expired. This ushers in a new era, led by new head coach Brian Schottenheimer, who was hired in January 2025. A former offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, this is Schottenheimer's first head coaching job. He faces the huge task of not only fixing the X's and O's, but also rebuilding the locker room's shattered confidence. To do that, he's assembled a new staff, including former Chicago Bears head coach Matt Eberflus as the new defensive coordinator and highly respected college coach Connor Riley as the offensive line coach. The other central figure in this comeback story is Dak Prescott. His 2024 season was cut short by injury, but his job is secure, with the organization committed to him as the franchise quarterback. The pressure on him has never been higher, but now it's focused on his recovery. He's no longer the young quarterback exceeding expectations. He's the veteran leader who has to elevate the entire team after returning from a major surgery. Prescott has to prove that he can return to his elite pre-injury form. To support him, a trade was made for young quarterback Joe Milton III to develop as a reliable backup. The front office also made significant moves to reshape the roster. In a major splash, the Cowboys traded for Steelers wide receiver George Pickens, giving them a dynamic deep threat to pair with CeeDee Lamb. They also signed veteran wideout Paris Campbell to add experience to the receiver room. Key players were also retained, with the team signing defensive tackle Osa Odigizua and all-pro returner Javonte Turpin to multi-year extensions, and bringing back special teams ace CJ Goodwin on a 1-year deal.
The Cowboys have a new coaching staff, a retooled roster, but the ghosts of 2024 still linger. What's the one thing that matters the most for the full revenge tour in 2025? Is it Dak Prescott's return to form, Matt Eberflus reviving the defense, or new firepower like George Pickens shaking up the offense? Drop your take in the comments. And if you're following this revenge arc for America's team, Hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's get into how the Cowboys are reloading for redemption.
A successful revenge tour isn't just about attitude, it's about firepower. For the 2025 Cowboys, any redemption will be driven by their stars returning to form and a defense that has to be completely transformed under new leadership. On offense, the formula starts with a healthy Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. Lamb was still an elite weapon in 2024, getting his third straight season with over 100 catches and another Pro Bowl nod. Their connection remains one of the best in the NFL. The key will be getting consistent help from the supporting cast. The acquisition of George Pickens provides a legitimate number 2 threat who specializes in contested catches, while Paris Campbell adds a veteran presence. The offensive line, under new coach Connor Riley, needs to re-establish its dominance, both in protecting Prescott and creating lanes for a run game that was among the league's worst. To address that, the Cowboys completely overhauled their running back room, signing free agents Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. They also invested in the draft, picking up Texas running back Jaden Blue in the 5th round and Clemson's Phil Maffa in the 7th, creating a crowded backfield competition that also includes 2023 pick Deuce Vaughn. But the biggest question lies with the defense. The hiring of Matt Eberflus as defensive coordinator marks a significant philosophical shift. After the defense's awful performance, 2025 is a make-or-break year for this unit. The talent is there, Micah Parsons is still a wrecking ball, and the secondary has playmakers like Trevin Diggs and Darren Bland. The key will be Eberflus's ability to put these players in a position to succeed while fixing the fundamental weaknesses. He needs his defensive line, anchored by the newly re-signed Osa Odigizua, to be tougher and his linebackers to be more disciplined. The entire philosophy has to shift from just creating splash plays to being a sound defense that doesn't break. The 2025 schedule is more than just 17 games. It's a nationally televised gauntlet that will prove whether the Cowboys' quest for revenge is real or just talk. The league has put them front and center with 6 primetime games, featured on Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football. The journey starts in the most hostile territory imaginable. The tone will be set immediately in the NFL's season kickoff game on Thursday, September 4th, when the Cowboys travel to Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia to face the Eagles. Broadcast nationally on NBC and Peacock, this isn't just a primetime game, it's a trial by fire. The Cowboys will have to watch as their bitter rivals raise a Super Bowl banner before the game even begins. Establishing dominance in the division is priority number 1 after being swept last season, and there's no more humbling stage to begin that climb. Beyond the division, the primetime challenges are relentless. The Cowboys have home games under the lights against the Green Bay Packers in Week 4, the Arizona Cardinals in Week 9, and the Minnesota Vikings in Week 15. They will also face high-stakes road tests at the Las Vegas Raiders in Week 11 and at the Detroit Lions in Week 14. These games are the ultimate test. Can the defense slow down elite quarterbacks? Can a healthy offense keep up in shootouts? Winning these games is how a 7-10 team gets back to being a contender, but the most important battle will be fought at home. The biggest stain of the 2024 season was the 2-7 record at AT&T Stadium. Every home game in 2025 is a chance to exercise those demons. The team has to rebuild that fortress, making Arlington a place where opponents' hopes are extinguished again. Reclaiming that home field advantage is a critical step on the path to redemption.
The 2025 Dallas Cowboys are at a crossroads. After a tough 7-10 season that revealed serious flaws, this year is about more than revenge. It's a battle to overcome inconsistency, defensive struggles, and unmet expectations. With a new coaching staff, a healthy Dak Prescott, and a new offensive weapon like George Pickens, the pieces are in place for a turnaround. The mission: fix the defense, reignite the offense, and prove 2024 was just a setback. What will be the key to Dallas's bounce back? Dak's health, the new defense, or the offensive additions? Let us know in the comments, and like this video if you're all in on the Cowboys Revenge Tour, and hit subscribe for more deep dives on teams that missed the playoffs in 2024. And thank you for watching. Revenge Route.